Question number 11, Denis O'Rourke.
This question is for the Minister of Transport. Will the Civil Aviation Authority reduce its charges to its general aviation customers for the 2016-17 year?
The Honourable Simon Bridges.
Mr Speaker, as the member is aware, the funding changes for the 16-17 year were set back in 2012. The authority is currently undertaking a review of its cost recovery framework for its regulatory activities. This has been consulted on and proposals will be considered and decisions made by Cabinet later this year.
Supplementary question, Denis O'Rourke.
Does he stand by the reported statement made during the 2012-13 review of CAA charges by the then Minister, quote, "For the period for the next funding review, that is 2015 to 18, the Civil Aviation Authority will look to decrease costs so that fees and charges reflect full cost recovery from 2015-16 and the need for further increases is reduced or removed."
The Honourable Simon Bridges.
Well, Mr Speaker, I can't say for certain that the Honourable Jerry Brownlee said that, just like I can't say for certain who collects the member's mail. I just think there are some things we may never know the truth on.
Certainly won't know the truth of anything that Minister says.
No, would you? Order. The member's in danger of me just moving to the next question. Let's just have the supplementaries. Supplementary question, Denis O'Rourke.
Is it true that the full cost recovery rate now is $466 per hour, compared with the rate at the time the then Minister made his reported statement of $288, an increase of 62%?
The Honourable Simon Bridges.
Mr Speaker, well, I don't think that is true, Mr O'Rourke.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Denis O'Rourke.
What actions has he taken to ensure that the CAA has taken genuine, robust and disciplined measures to ensure that the costs passed on to civil aviation customers are driven down and not increased? And try telling the...
Order. If I hear that sort of interjection again from that member, he will be leaving the chamber. The Honourable Simon Bridges.
Oh, well, Mr Speaker, I think it's been a very full consultation and there's been, I think, at least 2 proposals by the Civil Aviation Authority and 2 rounds of consultation. At this stage, they are just consultation. Decisions haven't been made, so I suggest the member chills and waits for the government's decision.
Yeah, he should be. Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Denis O'Rourke.
Will the Minister assure general aviation customers that CAA charges for next year will either be reduced or at least be no greater than they were as a result of the 2012-13 review, and if not, why not? And let's have a meeting.
Order. I gave the member forewarning. I told him to sit down after asking his supplementary and not interject across the House like that. We're moving immediately to question number 12.